Hi guys, it's Zara with ZaraPhD.com and author of Minimalist Homeschooling and creator of Simple is the New Smart, the Minimalist Homeschooling Masterclass. And today is video tutorial number 2, where I talk about what is minimalist homeschooling, as well as how you can get started with minimalist homeschooling, and finally how to make the most out of your 168-hour week. So stick with me through over the course of these tutorials. We'll go over all of that. If you missed the first tutorial where I talked about what minimalist homeschooling is and who I am, then you might want to go back and look for that. Today we're going to talk about what minimalist homeschooling is not. So this is sort of a required discussion so that we can clear the air about exactly what it's not. First things first, minimalist homeschooling is not a prescribed curriculum or lesson plan. I will not tell you exactly what your child needs to learn at any time or how you should teach it. Rather, minimalist homeschooling, let's go back to our definition, is all about what you need and love and cutting out the extra so that you can focus on the most important things. I will not tell you what the most important things are. Alrighty, so next thing is that minimalist homeschooling is not synonymous with relaxed homeschooling. Yes, both forms of homeschooling include a lot of free time and a lot of independent learning. However, minimalist homeschooling does have a very intentional plan associated with it. And so in that way, it's very different from just child-led learning or relaxed homeschooling. The two are not synonymous. Minimalist homeschooling is in fact different. Minimalist homeschooling is not exactly a learning philosophy. You can apply minimalist homeschooling to any type of homeschooling, and you can also apply minimalist homeschooling to any curriculum. So this is really a mindset shift in how you approach your homeschool, how you plan your homeschool, how you use your time in a day, and how to simplify, focus, and add value to any learning style or any curriculum. Okay, so minimalist homeschooling is not being a minimalist and being a homeschooler. Yes, we have plenty of minimalist homeschoolers who are a minimalist and a minimalist homeschooler. However, it's not required. There are also minimalist homeschoolers who have not purged or decluttered at all. Yes, we homeschool at home. So our environment supports our homeschool, and a simplified environment will support a minimalist homeschool. However, it's not required. So this is not just a club for people who live in tiny homes or who are aspiring to RV full-time. This is for anybody who wants to cut the clutter in their child's education first and foremost. Okay, minimalist homeschooling is not the same as basic homeschooling and does not leave gaps in your education. So basic homeschooling is reading, writing, and math, right? And minimalist homeschooling is all about what you need and love, and what your child needs and what your child loves may not be reading, writing, and math. So again, I'm not going to tell you exactly what to learn at any point in minimalist homeschooling, but I am going to ask you to simplify, focus, and add value over and over and over again. And therefore, because you're so focused on helping your child reach their potential, because you're so focused on exactly what they need and what they love to reach their God-given potential, you're not going to have gaps in your child's education. Now let's talk about gaps for a minute. Nobody in the world knows everything. We would never say an attorney has gaps in their education because they can't do what a neurosurgeon does. We would never say that. So gaps in a broad sense are sort of a natural human condition. None of us knows everything. So let's talk about gaps in terms of when our children don't know enough to reach their potential. That would be a gap in their education, right? We don't want to neglect any subject that's going to hinder them from reaching their potential. We would consider that a gap. And minimalist homeschooling is so intentional about exactly what your child needs that the likelihood of there being gaps is so slim. And the other thing I would like to point out is that your children can learn anything at any time. If you don't know your United States capitals, you could go learn them right now. And the same is true for your children. At any age, they can learn what they need to know. And so if you notice at some point that your child has a gap in their education, here's what you do. You study it, right? And because minimalist homeschooling is all about reassessing with every season what your child most needs now, what your child most loves now, what your child most needs now, and that's an ongoing process of reassessing your children, again, the likelihood of gaps is so slim. in minimalist homeschooling. So the next thing I would like to say is minimalist homeschooling is not all about group lessons. It's not all about individual lessons. I happen to write a post about how I get our most important things done, and a lot of time that's with table time. And that's where all 4 of my children sit at a table. I sit with them and I work with the youngest ones, gradually peel them off. And then the oldest is at the table the longest. They are not all doing the same thing during that time, right? So nor is that minimalist homeschooling. That's just how I happen to get my most important things done. So again, minimalist homeschooling is not going to be a prescribed lesson plan. This is what you're going to do as a group. This is what you're going to do individually. No, you can apply minimalist homeschooling to any curriculum, any philosophy, any learning style. So minimalist homeschooling is not going to be a dogmatic rule about how many books you should own, how many colored pencils you should have, okay? And it's not going to be a major overhaul because you can apply it to, if you already love your curriculum, great. Let me show you how to simplify it. That's what minimalist homeschooling would do, okay? So now, what I want you to do is tell me in the comments what myths you might have heard or what reservations you have about minimalist homeschooling. What is it about minimalist homeschooling that you may be sort of reluctant to apply it to your own homeschool? And then make sure that you go ahead and like and follow the Minimalist Homeschooling page so that you can be notified of future tutorials. I'm going to talk next about some baby steps you can take to apply minimalist homeschooling to your homeschool right away. And until then, I am wishing you all the simple things, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.